What is going on YouTube? This is Acid Root. So I'm going to review the second album by American band Tonic. As far as this is going to happen, basically this product is called Sugar. Basically this product is called Sugar, and it came out in the fall of 1999. So the fair about this album is it has some good appeal about it within these pitches, but it's kind of within the format similar to 1996's Lemon Parade within these aspects. It's just kind of the fair that it had a hit single off of it, but I think folks were still kind of in a daze and still kind of satisfied with like the hit songs that came out in 96, like If You Could Only See and Open Up Your Eyes, some of those type pitches within it. It's kind of the fair that that particular album was kind of similar to a good portion of like 90s kind of one-hit wonders from like the alt-rock sense pitches like that. When you think of Marcy Playground, Chumbawamba, some of these type folks pitches like that. There's some other type ones in there within some of those type aspects, like the folks that did Flagpole Sitta, some of those type ones. Harvey Danger, some of those type folks was within the pitch. It's similar to Marcy Playground, how they dropped a decently kind of reception second album in 1999 as well, around this time within the pitch. Marcy Playground did decently, but it's kind of within the pitch as far as saying I think folks were still taken aback by Sex and Candy, some of those type songs, pitches like that. A little bit of Sherry Frazier and St. Joe on the School Bus, some of those type ones. But the more I think about it nowadays, I think Marcy Playground from 97 was kind of an alt-rock kind of classic, because it did get to the fourth single pitch, so that had some good type of ordeals. Same similar fashion with Lemon Parade by Tonic from 1996. That had 4 singles off it. Soldier's Daughter's kind of underappreciated pitches like that. Same thing with Casual Affair, some of those type ones, in addition to Open Up Your Eyes, and in addition to like the decent kind of fairing Open Up Your Eyes, and then of course the hit single If You Could Only See. So it's kind of pitch. Now this particular album has the fair about it. It has a decent kind of charting single, has a modest and decent kind of charting single with You Wanted More as far as these aspects going to happen, but just did not have like the same hubbub and overall commotion like the last stability about it within the fairs like they did in 96. But it is an excellent album. I recommend all 13 songs, 10 out of 10 album, pitches like that. It's kind of fair. They try some new tricks on here. It's kind of the pitch. It's actually losing track of what I was going to say here, but I think it was to the effect of me saying that it's some interesting commonplace as far as the aspect, as far as saying the product of this album within these pairs. It's a classic album within these pitches, but it's just kind of fair as far as saying that the new tricks that they try on here are kind of within the aspect of this different type tones. Like they tried, like most of this, when you think of post-grunge, alt-rock kind of days from like 96, 97, 99 pitches like that, it's kind of within the ordeal, but really for the most part, this has some differential type tones that kind of ushers in post-grunge more so than alt-rock the way. It's not as hazy this time. It's very similar to how Marcy Playground kind of switched it up as well later on within those pitches, some of those type aspects. Kind of the aspect as far as if you want that particular classic album fair, when you think of Lemon Parade, this has traces of Lemon Parade, but this product has traces of Lemon Parade on here, but it's a little bit, it has like some tones that are kind of the aspect of ushering in the way post-grunge was starting to happen by getting to like the early 2000s with folks like Nickelback and like Stained and some of those type folks within a particular pitch about. So it's just kind of the fair, this is less kind of dredgy this time, not so much opiate induced and things like that within those aspects as far as like the tone of like the kind of sunset sifted. I mean, this is very much a sunset album. It's very much like a continued aspect to Lemon Parade, but the tones about it are just not as much when you think of like those McDonald's and kind of just Swisher kind of smoke fest pitches like that amongst the ordeal. I mean, it has some of that porch music and car sifting on here within those pitches, but it just does it in different type tones. It has a little bit more productiveness that this kind of switches up the format with like some new varieties as to not quite be as sluggish this time and quite as induced as far as this person goes. Not to say like it's not, but there's just some things. There's also some healthier aspects on here too. I was interested. An interesting song on this album is the song Sugar within these pitches that kind of switches to more of like festival kind of frolic and more picnic type music in a more lighthearted type sense. There's a series of songs on here that kind of have that aspect as far as it's a more healthier type commotion within the pitch. It is not having like the usual kind of dredge or just like the slog kind of day and pitch like that, just the frustrate and like the normal kind of fuck this, fuck that type attitude that you'd say within those pitches. But I look after it here, kind of within these affluences as far as saying, so yeah, the product of this album, recommend all 13 songs pitched like that, so simple enough. It's being able to say 10 out of 10, so you basically in particular, You Wanted More is a nice one as well within these pitches. This is kind of the aspect, this is the lead single, this charted pretty decently, pretty much like worse than like the way that Open Up Your Eyes charted, but still was a decent kind of comeback single, but just didn't have the same fare as If You Could Only See Pictures Like That. But it's just kind of fair. This is one of those type of ones that tries some new tricks as far as this person have. Like I was saying, it's like an edgier and kind of good evening gliss to kind of get here within the product. This has less dredge about it. It's a little bit more of an ambitious kind of song. Still getting Mickey D, some of that formats, but just kind of like more utility type fare. Some of these type ones, these initial two singles, you wanted more Knockdown Walls, kind of had the pitch a little bit more in mind. A more productive type day or evening pitch like that. It's kind of the lengthy type fare, just committing to like the product of getting some bustle kind of done and being more steadfast in the aspect, not so much within the typical, not so much like alt rock was kind of slacker type music, but just kind of within the tone of just that being more of an embrace. This is kind of a little bit more where there might be more things to do kind of within those pitches as far as those formats kind of happen, where the wrap up is not quite done just yet at like 5:30 or 6 p.m. pitches like that, which is kind of, it has a little bit more carry on this time. Now, when I think of If You Could Only See some pitches like that, that's kind of an ordeal of having like that particular dredge aspect, but that was just a little more venue based. That particular had a little bit more of like the bite of like the aspect as far as getting ready to step out to more recreational type fare. This one has a little bit more product of like makeshift type fare and like a muzak type sense, but still good type tone for those pitches. This gives you some good makeshift type fare for more evening shift type bound type nist pitches like that. So good type ordeals. Knockdown Walls is a nice one here as far as these pitches can have. Now this is one that charted decently more on like the rock charts. This was like a top 20 single on like the US main charts pitches like that. Something within those ordeals, good aspects there. This is Knockdown Wall is like a gauzy kind of Three Doors Down light kind of commerce. I'd say about this song within pitches like that. It's kind of a bustling, kind of a mist like the dusk fare as far as these pitches can have. A good combination, like I was saying with You Wanted More. Just kind of a long day kind of go as far as these pitches kind of happen. So this kind of aspect, what I mean, the product of some of these type ones just kind of has the pitch of where the product of some of these type ones is kind of pitch where it may not, where the tasks may still have some aspects within it, just when it is sun is setting pitches like that. So just kind of later shift if you do have to work like an additional 2 or 3 hours for pitches like that, some of those type of ordeals. Not as if it's full bound committed. Not as if it's full bound, as if it has to be work and muzak within pitches like that, but it's kind of the ordeal as far as saying just the product of having more day fare to kind of commit to pitches like that past, probably 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, and past 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock p.m. when the sun's setting, pitches like that. So good type of ordeals, it's kind of the pitch, but yeah, this productive type one's just a new taste of some of that type fare, just kind of within the aspect, just being used to more products like Marcy Playground from 97, Lemon Parade from 96, some of those type ones. Other ones like, Third Eye Blind's 1997 album pitches like that, some of those type ones within pitch. So it's just kind of format when you get to like these sequel type albums and that's just kind of the fair one. I think after it, within the commonplace, it is pretty casual to kind of catch like within a relative type fashion if you could only see some of these type fairs, but all these years later, maybe back in like 2001 and 2006, some of those type fairs you would have caught, You Wanted More, possibly Knockdown Walls, but just the fare behind it nowadays, you only get like the greatest of the greatest hits within those ordeals. So this is less commonplace to pick up these two singles, but it's just kind of pitch that these are so nice ones that just have like a new spice to like basically Tonic within those fairs that kind of does mildly kind of paint them outside of the one-hit wonder type territory. It's kind of the pitch that they had these, but I do appreciate the Lemon Parade singles more, but I do like the excellent aspects of these songs. It's kind of the pitch as far as saying, it's not to say I don't have appreciation for these particular type songs, just more within the pitch as far as saying just the aspect of just having, it just kind of puts them in new light. So it's kind of the aspect, these have some excellent appreciation as well within these pitches as far as just more in a makeshift type sense. So these are just the ones to listen to in a more Monday, Tuesday type fashion when there's just more to do within those pitches. So it's just kind of fair. They're necessary songs. I don't think when I said that, it's almost to kind of retract that statement as far as saying it's just more within the aspect that these are songs to listen to within the aspect of when there's still work to do within those pitches, as opposed to just like the embrace of like, when you think of Hell, some of those type of songs from Open Up Your Eyes, and If You Could Only See heading out to like a dance club pitch like that, selling stuff there. It's just a myth like the fair. This is just more product for being productive. So it has those pitches, good, excellent product, good type fair. But Mean to Me is a nice one as well within these pitches. Third single here. It's like a dredgy kind of vintage Tonic and like a dazed and kind of the third single, Mean to Me, is like a dredgy kind of vintage Tonic and like a dazed and drifty kind of passage, I'd say, within the product of it here. Just Evening Embrace, definitely just good song for some beer and fries as far as those pitch gaps. So excellent within the ordeal. More in like the typical type format of things like Lemon Parade, some of those type aspects, just that main, the usual sunlick type facets of alt rock from 97, 99 pitch like that. So it's just within those ordeals as far as getting towards it. Now this song did not chart, but it's just kind of one of those type products as far as getting towards some of those type ones. It's more in the typical type McDonald's and the whip pitches like that. Some type good ordeals, just like the after effect of just sifting and pitches. the more usual type fare like that embrace that you would get if just got done with things. So it's just a return to form very much. If you're missing like Lemon Parade, this is a song for that format. Sugar is the fourth single within these pitches. Now, this has some excellent type fares. This is another new spice within these pitches. Sugar is like a frolicky and pepped kind of evening light lit, kind of late lunch, things like that within those fares. I'd say just go for like a Sunday. Some of those fares have bay along. Some of these type products are just getting like some treats and things like that. Just kind of some Monday cheer as far as those pitches can happen. So yeah, just some new type traces like the aspect of this Tonic having more aspects definitely within the product of them being productive and having some excellent songwriting on here as far as some new spices, just not to retread and pitch like that. It's just kind of ordeal as far as getting towards some of these type moments. Kind of having some extra spice as far as like the forms. Now it's unfortunate that this would have been really excellent having these new type moments that they kind of did on here if it would have had the aspects. Not like these songs aren't catchy, but it's just kind of the pitch. I just think the particular format, it probably just had to do more with like the roteness. It's just kind of the aspect. I mean, these songs are catchy enough. Sugar is pretty catchy. I'm surprised this song didn't chart heavier. Same thing with Mean to Me, some of these type pitches. But it's just kind of the format that when you think of like the quotability behind a song, like If You Could Only See, and to a lesser extent kind of open up your eyes, some of those type pitches is kind of the format. With rock songs, it's a little bit different, more so than rap songs within those pitches, because you think of like the meme type appeal of like a rap song pitch like that. It's just kind of the ordeal as far as saying like a particular song has to have like that accessibility behind just wanting to say it over and over, either in the sing song kind of sense or just the aspect like the quotability behind it. It's just kind of the tone. I think the band work was definitely put into these songs pitched like that. The topics, the melody, some of those type fares was just kind of the affability behind just the megaton type appeal. It's just not as full bound within those pitches, kind of the aspect. It probably just more or less has to boil down to the chorus as far as those pitches go. I just would say within the aspect, I mean, You Wanted More has the aspect, but it just has the differential type taste. It's kind of the format of this, kind of having those particular spices. I think probably within the aspect, considering the fact, it's just, I think it's just more the fault of just being able to say within those conducts as far as saying, and this was kind of a complaint that I was saying within the past. When I bought and purchased Lemon Parade recently within those aspects, made me think I kind of forgot about that album, but just in the pitch as far as saying within those products as far as fucking with it, some of these type songs that are not the singles are kind of within the pitch of having like, it's the same thing with Marcy Playground, the aspects behind it, having that alt-rock type song is just kind of the pitch as far as saying most of it's kind of dredgy within those aspects. Now there are songs on here that do have the variety. I do feel like they kind of stand out, but it's just kind of the pitch as far as saying it just has to have like, the only thing is just having like that megaton type of appeal within those pitches, which it just moreover feels like this is just a slept on type band. I think that's more the product, just saying that for these 15 minutes as far as saying that this, it has more to do with them just being slept on more than like the pitch, them not having the quality, because the songwriting is good on here. I mean, they got to 4 singles, which definitely indicates like a pretty hit album within these pitches, just kind of format that they just were not having that chart appeal within those aspects. Not as if they're not good, it's just kind of pitch that in terms like that, this banner kind of grade A marketability with like a hook, like If You Could Only See or something like that, this may be the thing, but quality of the songs is on here. See a gab 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 pitch like that, but there's some plenty of these on here, so 10 out of 10 album pitches like that. I recommend all 13 songs. One of my more favorite songs on this album is Sunflower. It's like a nice hazy kind of venue groove to kind of get within these aspects. It's the post-grunge kind of club hop, I'd say, here within these pitches. Just have a brew pitch like that, just some vanilla kind of socialized. It's an overall hot type one. This really has a nice riffage on here, pitch like that. It's like real good groove out of this. Probably could have been a pretty nice single to have chosen pitch like that. Like I do feel like the fare behind this album, like I said, the aspect behind it is the approach to the promotion off this album is just a little bit more within the aspect of just healthier within the tone, not quite the usual kind of dredge within those aspects, which was not so much the usual dredge within those aspects, which was strange because alt-rock was pretty much in its supreme, alt-rock was kind of in supreme form in the late 90s pitch like that, so it's just kind of the ordeal getting some commerce type ones. I mean, it added some new spices, but it's just kind of the pitch towards that, so it's just kind of fair. I think Sunflower would have been a pretty good, nice one within the pitch. I don't know if it would have charted within those aspects, but it does have like some nice club appeal, just a good aspect that kind of combines alt-rock with post-grunge, so good type fares and meshing that. Another one that kind of has that appeal is Future Says Run. It's like a swamped and glared kind of evening brush kind of get here. This vintage kind of post-grunge and typical kind of blasé as far as these fares going to go. There are a couple of step out type songs, so I like the pitch as far as getting towards some of these nightlife type songs in the pitch. It was kind of the same format with Lemon Parade. The more I think about it, pitches like Sunflower, Future Says Run, Top Falls Down, some of these type pitches within the format, definitely within aspects as far as having some of these type moments to go out for like a venue hop, have like a few brews pitched like that, a couple good cold beers, some of those type aspects, some Budweiser living pitch like that, so good type ordeals. But Future Says Run is just a good embrace, some of that type fare, just the product of this, the spice of this, getting towards that neon sludge pitch like that, good type ordeals. Waltz with Me is a quality one. This is a little bit more sugary within these aspects. It's like a light lick, kind of good combo with sugar, I'd say. This evening picnic kind of music, I'd say. Lemonade, pitches like that with bellas, some of these type fares within these aspects. As far as these tones, gonna have this good type product, this good song for some chatter. So definitely some date evenings pitch like that. It's kind of more, it's not so much a gummy type song to say in like a derogatory type sense, but just kind of more in a more light lick type fare, just within the aspect, just a little bit more. I mean, it's really not healthy either. I like the aspect of like alt rock kind of picnic songs within these pitches because it just has the factor of like a good, the edge factor about getting an alt rock kind of healthy song just has a little bit more factor towards it. It just has a little bit more compared to like the usual type stuff that you would get in a more kind of healthier kind of connotation about it. So it's a good type hit to have for some of these. I mean, it very much is a lot more saccharine pitches like that, but it's just kind of ordeal as far as staying within the aspect that probably the smoke type fare could be here within these pitches for songs like Sugar and Waltz with Me, some of these type ones. There's another one on here I'm trying to think of that kind of has that within that particular tone. Love a Diamond, some of these type ones that kind of have the aspect of this more. Now, actually, another one would be Waiting for the Light. There's at least 4 of these on here that are similar to like Sugar pitches like that within those ordeals. It is more healthy kind of date evening type fashions for a little bit more softcore divas pitches like that. But it's kind of aspects for us saying good type fare. That's Waltz with Me. So pretty catchy within those aspects. It's kind of an acoustic kind of just almost like a Beatles type song pitches like that. Some type of ordeals just ripped out of the 60s. Queen is a quality one within these aspects as well within these pitches. Like an evening kind of hot day sifting kind of get within the aspects. It's kind of definitely some good vehicle brewing and Mickey D's fares like that, I'd say within the aspect. It's kind of summer vibe, but just more 6 o'clock set. It's more 5:30, 6 o'clock pitches like that. It's kind of smoking like some usual kind of weekday bops as far as these fares going to go. Kind of missed the product of like the usual passage as far as these aspects going to have. So just excellent within those pitches as far as just getting along. So instead products within it. It's kind of some social rumination pitches like that as far as those fares going to have. So just kind of within the pitch. Some social rumination pitches like that as far as these ordeals can happen. There's actually a good assortment of songs on here that are good for Mickey D's type fare, just easily having like double cheeseburgers and McChickens, so stuff aspects within those tones as far as those pitches gonna go, just to miss the product of like fast food livings. I mean, it's more simple. I would definitely say alt rock kind of has more fare for more McDonald's and kind of Arby's type fashion more so than some of these other type ones compared to some of the more crunk type ones within those aspects. But I look after compared to more vicious type turn up like Eskimo Callboy and like Metallica and things like that, Megadeth, some of the stuff ones was just when the pitch for us, and it's just good type product to have like some simping kind of fast food wise pitches like that, good type ordeals. Waiting for the Light is nice as well as like a festival light kind of outdoor commotion kind of get here, just barbecuing like a late day kind of fun pitch like that. It's kind of a sun glare type one. So a good portion, like I was saying about this album, very similar to Lemon Parade within these aspects, pretty much between like the hours of at least 3:30 about 7:30 pitches like that. Some type of ordeals with like some night ones in there as well, but particularly Waiting for the Lights is kind of the aspect of like outdoor type fashions. Some of these type ones similar to Sugar, similar to Waltz with Me, just not quite as full-bound gummy within those pitches. Kind of the aspect of just having like the particular tone, just having some wings nearby, having some cookout type fare within pitches like that. Just perfect little summer type music for Independence Day fares like that in a more dredge type aspect. Just kind of appreciating the commotion. So good alt rock type fashions for that. Jump Jimmy Stronger Than Mine is nice as well within these pitches. It's like a good passage, kind of old fashioned, kind of town hop to kind of get. So this one's kind of out on the town and just like a more strut type fashion, just kind of social kind of commerce, just going for some day commerce and cruising pitches like that. This one's a little bit more amidst like noon and lunch rush pitches like that. It's kind of a thrift and strip mall type shopping pitches like that. Buying like a belt or shoes, some of those type products just within like the day fare. It's usual kind of hop and bop within those formats, just in a more old fashioned type sense. This feels like this particular song feels Jump Jimmy Stronger Than Mine feels like a song that came out in 1974 or 1981 pitches like that, just in a town strut type fashion pitches like that. So just some good shopping type fare, go out for lunch for the day pitches like that within those ordeals, excellent type fares. Yeah, I don't know if I talk about Top Falls Down, but this is a nice one as well. Top Falls Down is like a robust and hungry kind of needing a pick-me-up type tune pitches like that. It's kind of a good beeline for like a venue, I'd say, just ready to get tore up some of those type aspects. Just some good 5 o'clock p.m. kind of enjoy. Vintage kind of tonic here pitches like that, to some of that alt rock type fashion, just with an aspect like, yep, I'm gonna have like some good drink in my system, so on that formats, just to miss the fair of like day product being done. But actually within the product, I would kind of like more of those songs like You Wanted More and Knockdown Walls pitches like that. It's kind of within those ordeals as far as like the product having some productive typeness that kind of has the aspect of just having like that bustle as well. Kind of the aspect of having like those spices in case it is necessary to kind of have like some traffic and just overall more productive type fare at like the hours of 4:30 and 5:30 pitches like that, past like the usual day rush of it. So it's a good type product for that. But Top Falls Down is like some good usual type fashion, just got done with things. I don't know if I talked about Drag Me Down either, but this is a nice one as well. It's like a good venue bounce to get in like a throwback kind of jukebox sense. This is one that's kind of similar to Jump Jimmy, Stronger Than Mine, but just kind of in a more dance venue type sense. It's like an alt rock kind of unwind to like some good craze as far as those pitches kind of go. It's kind of a song that feels like it's ripped out of the 70s, pitches like that, but it's kind of within the ordeal, like some good, just an alt rock taste of that as far as those pitches can have. So just a 1999, something that would sound like out of 1973, something like that, or those aspects behind it. To just have like some good commotion in terms of like a social type sense, some of these type ones. A little bit more old fashioned compared to Sunflower, but just a little bit more old fashioned compared to Sunflower, but definite type bounce on here as far as this pitch can have. Just a good type product to get like some crunk going pitches like that. So I'm trying to think of other ones I haven't talked about on here within these pitches. I think that basically takes care of it within these aspects as far as these fairs going to go. I talk about every one of these. Maybe there's one more. I don't think I talked about Love of Diamonds, so I'm going to talk about Love of Diamonds. Love of Diamonds is a nice one. So Love of Diamonds like a day's kind of Love of Diamonds like a dazed kind of dust weather kind of appreciation to kind of get here, just smoke a doobie. I would definitely say just some porch music. I'd say pitches like that, good type fare for that, just some music kind of relief as far as this pair is going to go. So excellent type pitch. So just a little bit of outdoor appreciation pitches like that. It's kind of the ordeal like that Tibble type fashion, just less commerce in mind pitches like that. So this kind of the fair, just maybe possibly news is going to be on like 30-45 minutes pitches like that, but it's kind of the ordeal smoking something nice within the front yard or backyard pitches like that, cold beer, something within those aspects. It's kind of the unwind, even if it's not drug centric pitches like that kind of ordeal, just reading the paper, selling stuff products, to just appreciating like the outdoor type fashion. It's a good combo type song pitches like that to kind of have in a more homely type sense. So good type ordeals. Goes along with songs like Waiting for the Light and Waltz With Me, but just less kind of date evening in mind pitch like that. Just a little bit more, a little bit more neighborhood bound and homely within those pitches as far as those aspects going to have more personal. But I look after discipline tones, so it's good, excellent products here as far as those pitches going to happen. 10 out of 10 album pitches like that. Social 10 out of 10 album pitches like that. I think the social score, that's kind of tricky within it. I'd probably say the social score would get like a 9.75. I like the quality about this album. It does have some social spark on here. It does have 4 singles pitches like that. But I just feel like they kind of got shoehorned in a lot of senses. The quality is definitely on here, but it's just kind of pitch as far as saying, I think the product that it just is kind of fair that for the most part, especially nowadays, 30 years later, it's kind of the pitch is saying that Tonic just does not commonly get like the attention past like the 1 or 2 hits that they're most known for within those pitches. I mean, on like a decently lucky day, you might catch Open Up Your Eyes within some type pitches, but for the most part, they're probably designated to this if you could only see. It's kind of like within the fashion of thinking of Marcy Playground's 1999 album. That single did chart a little bit past Sex and Candy, but it just doesn't commonplace get like the attention. So it has 4 singles pitched like that. These ordeals kind of happen. You do get some new licks to some of these type ones that just like some makeshift in like an alt rock kind of sense past like the work day type fashions, a little bit of work fair past 5 o'clock p.m. You do get some venue hops on here pitched like that, some McDonald's in the car pitched like that, some rumination, some of these type moments within these appeals, some lunch rush and day traffic. And like some festival type songs for like some date afternoons and evenings as far as these pitch kind of have. So it's just good within those ordeals as far as getting towards this. So plenty of these type moments on here, just the product of having like some good beer hops and pitches like that and some of these type moments for some of these type fairs. So it nails the pitch. Say it would get a 10 if it just would have had a little bit more noise that it made with like the social, like the promotion run and pitches like that. It's just kind of the ordeal with like the singles. But other than that, it's a 10 out of 10 album, 9.75 social. So in terms of the future, I want to say Tonic dropped at least within some relative recent type times, but they're kind of more or less seen as like a product of the 90s within pitches like that. They do at least have an album out in 2002. I'm going to get to some more of these albums down the road as far as these pitches can have them. It's just kind of the ordeal. Their product was definitely 30 years ago. It's not to say they don't have more nowadays, but it's just kind of the pitch as far as saying it's just kind of it's just a difficult slope to crank out those hits because they're just known for like some of the banner type ones that just resonated as well as they did back then. It's kind of pitch. So classic album pitch like that. This is a kind of underappreciated follow-up pitch like that. Definitely check it out. Has some good type product. Just some new treats, angles, and sheens to like a quality subgenre. I would definitely say pitches like that.